Yeah, belum ni apa pun. Saya belum. Apa pun itu? Pun jani ke? Kalau tikar. Betul sih. Ya. Ya. Belum ni apa pun.
Operation Anna.
These are men with a common problem. Men directly responsible for the smooth and efficient running of costly fleets of vehicles. Fleets they very seldom see. Directing operations from their command posts, they could hardly be further from the action. They are not alone. They have colleagues. Colleagues battling to keep the wheels turning, racing against the clock, striving to meet near impossible deadlines, treating the symptoms and not the cause. Colleagues stretching limited resources, pitching profits against loss, locked in the struggle for economic survival. These men are fighting the battle called control in transport and trucking. Very often it's a losing battle with financial controllers, managers and mechanics separated from their men in the front line by thousands of miles of open road. They remain at base, out of touch, waiting, wondering. They can only guess at the situation out there, but experience tells them that anything could happen. Unnecessary detours, neglect, accidents, breakdowns. Vehicles consuming vast quantities of fuel, idling for hours at inefficient depots, or exceeding the speed limit. Engines being over-revved, chances being taken, time being wasted, overtime accruing, and money going down the drain. Problems. The unavoidable problems of managing a fleet of vehicles in South Africa today. Unavoidable? No. There is a solution. A solution that's been 36 years in the making. a solution that we at Control Instruments have been building towards ever since we launched our tachograph in 1948. Our own research told us years ago that the South African market was ready for a sophisticated fleet management system to act as an extension to our tachograph. A system designed and produced by South Africans to meet our own unique local needs and conditions. To define these needs and conditions, we hired the services of a professional research organization, and we sent them into the field with one objective: to find out exactly what the professionals, fleet operators like yourself, wanted from a fleet management system. Over 6 months and 250 organizations later, the results came in.
We want a system that can supply all the information vital to effective fleet management, instantly.
Dit moet akkuraat wees, betrouwbaar.
En maklik om te hanteer.
Make it completely self-contained.
Dit moet die toepaslike inligting gee wat ek vra.
Op enige plek, enige tyd.
It has to be versatile.
I need to program my own parameters into it.
It's got to accommodate delivery numbers, coded driver stops,
And inspection codes.
Dit moet kostedoeltreffend wees. En taai, man. Bloody taai.
This must be the next best thing to me sitting in the driver's seat of each and every one of the buckies and trucks in my fleet.
And so the demand went on. You gave us an incredibly tough task, a great challenge, and we threw everything into meeting it. The project was commissioned to Terry Ashwin, a brilliant young designer and inventor. At his disposal, he had extensive ongoing research, the world's most sophisticated design and development equipment, an open checkbook, the resources of the giant Hunt Lushaz and Hepburn Group, and everything we'd learned about transport management since 1948. The project took patience, courage, and dedication by all concerned. Weeks, months, and years of design, development, testing, and retesting. Three years later, Terry Ashwin came up with what he called the perfect solution. A solution called Compufleet. A rather small, unimpressive-looking metal box with some unbelievable claims. He described it as an indestructible set of eyes and ears that could be mounted in the cab of every vehicle in your fleet. And he claimed that it could supply all the information you told us you required at the press of a button. The date and time of printout, the vehicle number and its programmed parameters, for example, RPM and speed limit. The date and time the vehicle started, when it stopped, how many trips it had done, how far it had traveled, how long it had taken to travel this distance, how much time it had spent idling, the maximum RPM, how many times the vehicle had exceeded its preset RPM limit, and for how long. It also told you how fast the vehicle had been driven, the number of times it had gone over its preset speed limit and for how long. The system was amazingly adaptable, being used to record information like temperature, oil pressure, when the fuel cap was removed, and when any of the cargo doors were opened. Drivers could use it, recording fuel taken on, consignment numbers, delivery numbers, scheduled stops, and a host of other factors. All the information recorded could be instantly recalled anywhere, anytime. And the system was completely self-supporting. We looked at Compufleet, Terry Ashwin's perfect solution, and were skeptical. We had to be. We considered other people's experiences with similar systems, and we questioned, was the industry really ready for this state-of-the-art electronic system? And how on earth could it possibly stand up to South African conditions? Moisture, sand, heat, vibration, electrical interference, and rough operators. The inventor was unmoved by our questioning or our skepticism. He merely invited us to put the product to the test. And that's exactly what we did. Three weeks later, we got the first results. Compufleet was tough, very tough. We then looked for the most trying everyday work situation to test that Compufleet was not only tough, but also absolutely reliable. The TPA proved an ideal testing ground. Six months later, Terry Ashwin was quoted as saying, "The TPA has proved that the toughness and reliability of Compufleet is beyond question. Here it's continuously being tested by operators in the toughest working conditions." So far, the only problem we've experienced has been with dust getting into the office printer. We've remedied this by designing a rugged, dust-proof leather cover for use in excessively dusty office conditions. I can guarantee that Compufleet won't let you down, no matter what conditions your vehicles operate in. The tests have proved it. We come now to perhaps the most crucial test of all, the cost. And this is where the true beauty of Compufleet struck home to us. On absolutely any size fleet, Compufleet can pay for itself within weeks. The tests are now over. We at Control Instruments are delighted to announce that the challenge that you set has been met by Compufleet. A stunning new development in fleet management. A system that has justified itself in all areas. Its toughness is phenomenal. It's incredibly simple to operate. The information it supplies is comprehensive, to say the least. It answers the needs of the financial controller, the manager, the mechanic, and the driver. It's cost-effective and is designed to operate at peak efficiency on any sized fleet, from one to many thousands of vehicles. The information it gathers is accessible at any time and in any place. And above all, it's standalone, completely self-contained. Compufleet. Small, perhaps unimpressive in outward appearance, yet massive in its importance to the fleet operator. This is the most significant development in South African fleet management since our tachograph 36 years ago. A product that started off as a dream, developed into a need, and became an obsession with an entire company. A product that today is a reality. Compufleet, the perfect solution.